gonna call my roommate from first year to see if he thinks I was a good roommate, you know? Do you think I was a good roommate? Hello everyone, welcome back here to a brand new video. It is Noah Chen, and today we got ourselves a more of a sit-down type of video, in a sense. Today we're gonna be doing some college advice, some tips, especially geared towards incoming college freshmen. I already know that some schools, especially I think in the US, have already started classes and stuff like that, but I just wanted to release this video. Hopefully it can help future years or even you right now and stuff like that. Before we get right onto it, go ahead, follow me on Instagram at NoahChenVlogs. If you guys have any type of school question whatsoever, shoot me a DM. I'll answer all of your guys' DMs. So anyway, let's go on with the video.
She a little bad, hit her with the bag, yeah. Put it on the tab.
First up to talk about is roommates. So roommates are really important throughout university. I know for those who are incoming freshmen, I don't know if it'll apply to you, especially for this fall semester, with many universities going online, and I know a lot of universities are not doing doubles and they're strictly enforcing singles for social distancing purposes. But anyway, roomies are, it's probably one of the big things at university. A common misconception is that you have to be besties with your roommate. That's totally not true. You could be best friends, which is awesome, and you could just not be friends and just kind of live together. It's completely fine that way. I know people kind of stress out about, oh, what if I don't get along with my roommate? Because most likely they're probably the first person you officially meet on campus if you are going to campus. Just know that you're going to be meeting tons of other people, whether that's through classes, clubs, your residents, just walking around campus, stuff like that. So there's really nothing to worry. They're just essentially someone living with you. That could be it. Or if your guys are best friends, that's awesome as well. Also, an advice for choosing a roommate, definitely choose based off your interests, but also I think what's key is to choose based off your type of lifestyle. So if you are a night owl, if you wake up extremely early, I think those are also very key factors when having a roommate. You don't want someone waking up at 5 a.m., getting ready, making a lot of noise in your room when you're trying to sleep or something like that, right? You kind of want to make sure you guys are kind of on a similar schedule. If someone goes exercising, maybe you guys can be gym buddies or something like that. So I think that's one key thing to also look out for when choosing a roommate. I'm gonna call my roommate from first year to see if he thinks I was a good roommate. I'm always curious to see what he has to say. So let's give him a ring.
Hey Noah.
Hey Peter, what's up?
Oh, what's up? Why are you calling me right now?
I have a question to ask you, okay?
Okay.
Do you think I was a good roommate?
To be honest, yes. Yeah.
To be honest, yes? Okay. Thank you, Peter. You're the man. Okay. I'll talk to you soon.
Don't know how to act. How you like that?
The second thing we're going to be talking about is classes. So you probably have signed up for at least one of your classes sometime throughout the summer before heading into your first year of university, and I think what's important with classes is to kind of know what you're going to take and definitely research what type of class it is, who the professor is. I think Rate My Professor is also a pretty good tool to use, especially when going into first year. You don't want to be stuck behind this professor that just doesn't teach well and stuff like that. There's always those stories, you guys know. So definitely do your research when signing up for your classes. When signing up for classes, I actually had 3 other kids from my high school go to McGill University, which is where I go, and we actually all went to a coffee shop and signed up classes together. So that's one other way you guys can sign up, because I know there's a lot of pressure. Everyone's literally rushing in and typing extremely fast on the keyboards to sign up for their classes, because once they're filled, unfortunately, and you're gonna have to wait for the wait list or stuff like that. I think there's less pressure if you're able to sign up for classes with somebody else or with a group. It just makes things, feel more at ease and stuff like that. So it definitely puts less stress on you if you have someone that could be there to help you if you need help with anything when signing up for classes.
Like that. She a little bad. It's a little.
The third thing we're going to be talking about is textbooks and course material. I think as a first year, I remember I was kind of rushing to buy all these books and stuff like that for all my classes, and what do you know, I probably didn't end up using about 75% of the material that I bought. And I think that's a crucial part, is that you don't really need to buy textbooks, considering a lot of material is online. Whether that's through online resources or stuff like that. Also, sometimes these big physical textbooks, they're just way too much to carry around from library to library, and they also cost a lot of money, which is a downside to that. So if you do actually like physical textbooks, I definitely recommend buying them secondhand, whether it's through the bookstore. Sometimes they have secondhand books, or you can find a Facebook group that sells these used textbooks, and they're perfectly fine. Older editions, they probably don't really matter. The course material for most of the subjects that you're probably studying have not really changed throughout recent years. In addition, I do have a website that I know of. It's, I believe, libgen.io or Library Genesis. That's pretty much a expansive textbook library that you can find online. I'll probably link it down below in the description if you guys are looking for any textbooks, PDFs, and stuff like that. You can just type in the textbook name, maybe the author or the publisher, and most likely you'll probably find it on there. And you can download straight to your computer for free. So that's one resource that I found extremely useful, especially in my first year of university.
Dang, girl, you got me head over heels with it.
Next up, we're going to be talking about friends, clubs, and pretty much your social life at university. So friends probably are the backbone of university, and I think right now it's a little bit tougher with schools online, but I know some freshmen are kind of freaking out about it. There's really nothing to worry. You're in the same boat as everyone else if you are online, so it's not like you're missing out on anything, so you'll be perfectly fine. In terms of clubs, usually you'll have a club fair at your university, and that's a great way to meet people that have common interests with you. When signing up for these clubs, even if you're just remotely interested in a club, I'd recommend still putting down your email, putting down your name or something like that. Wait for them to give you guys an email about the first meeting. Go to the meeting. If you end up liking it, good. If you don't like it, then it's okay, you can move on, right? I think just kind of signing up for a lot of stuff and, you know, meeting new people with common interests, that is definitely a good way to meeting new friends, and hopefully clubs that you guys will be sticking around for the next 4 years or so.
Look, burning up like August.
Now we're going to be talking about studying. Obviously, this is literally what we have to do, right? For a good portion of a lot of our days at university is going to be studying. And studying, I think there's a bunch of tips. I can make a tips video in the future if you guys want to see that. I can go into more detail. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. But one thing that I do recommend is studying in different locations and different places is a great way to not only explore your campus, it's also a good way of studying. Sometimes if you keep studying at the same spot, it's going to become a dread for you to go there every single time. Whether it's the library, you go to the same floor, you go to the same seat every single time, you're just not going to feel, you know, motivated to study. But if you go to a coffee shop, if you go to a different school library, if you study with your friends, I think that's also one good thing. If you have study buddies, they don't need to be your friends, just kids in your class that maybe you have a Facebook group chat or something asking who wants to study for the quiz tomorrow, and I think that's a great way. Not only getting to know people, but to also study. So I highly recommend just going to new places to study instead of just maybe staying in your dorm and study all the time. I know right now, obviously this probably can't apply for most campuses at the moment if libraries are closed and stuff like that, but definitely when stuff reopens, that's one thing I do recommend doing. Lastly, I don't want to make this video super long, but hopefully so far these tips have been somewhat helpful for you guys. We're going to be talking about upperclassmen and kind of like utilizing these college resources. So in terms of upperclassmen, these are people probably you meet either through orientation week. There might be your guide or something like that. They could be probably one of the leaders in the clubs you join. or stuff like that, or they could be even your classes. Sometimes classes are not just geared towards freshmen only. You're gonna have older people in your class as well. And I think if you get to know them and be somewhat kind of mutual friends with them, they are probably one of your best resources throughout university, just because they have been in your shoes, they've gone through exactly what you've gone through in your first year, and they could tell you all the tips and tricks, especially with classes or even social life, etc. at university. So I definitely recommend trying to get to know a few upperclassmen. They don't need to be your friends, but just someone to be there as a resource, where you can kind of just message them on Facebook or text them and asking them questions, and hopefully they'll be able to answer your guys' questions because they will know what you guys are going through in your first year. In terms of utilizing college resources, there's tons of resources on your college campus that you probably don't even know or have heard of. So if you're sick, if you need to see a doctor, even for help with mental health, or if you need help with your homework or your projects and stuff like that, there's tutors that are even free. There's TAs you can ask, your professors you can ask. There's probably free help desks you can ask, which are former students who've taken the class, and they can help you with your homework or with your studying and stuff like that. I think it's very important to take advantage of all these resources while at university, so definitely look out for those and try to, ask as many questions as you can until you kind of understand the curriculum and your material. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. I hope some of you guys found this video somewhat useful. If I left anything out, definitely comment them down below. I'm sure people read through the comments, and they're gonna also want to find more tips for especially going into their first year of university. Again, comment down below what other types of videos I should make. If you guys want more of these sit-down type videos, I'll be surely glad to make them. And yeah, go ahead, follow me on Instagram at NoahChenVlogs. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. But that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video. And I'll catch you guys next time.